I'm grateful that, people are willing to shift their vibration. They're willing to feel better, because that's what all that's happening here is people are willing to feel better. And I called you and we were speaking, and then you told me about how the student in the ASL, when I supported her and she took responsibility and she was open to feel better and come from the reality she wanted, she was receptive, and that reflected back in her reality where her partner offered her full payment for a gift. You know what I mean? And so that's where our conversation started, that just by supporting somebody in a classroom who's open and receptive, somebody who's willing to feel better, as soon as they feel better and they feel good, they move to a higher vibration within, and so they have to have a higher vibration without, so that's where they move into another parallel reality. So months ago we worked with our sister here about the land and how she needed that land. She believed she needed that land sold and it never got sold and all that sort of thing. And I said to her, can you relax, ease up, and realize it's coming from you, and don't blame yourself, and can you see yourself in the reality you want to be in, and where you are happy, the buyer is happy, the land is happy. The land must feel happy too. It's not just about you, the land. And she reported recently that the land has been sold and everything is good and all that. So, what we are realizing here is that we've got truth teachings, right? The truth teachings, wisdom teachings is telling us how to succeed. It's telling us how to live successfully. It's telling us how you can have what you want in this world through your death and beyond. We've got the knowledge. This is why I always say I'm very grateful to God for the guidance. For with the truth we are set free beyond all linear thinking and being stuck in a certain reality and thinking it's happening to us, living superstitiously, ignorantly and arrogantly. And I said, that's not, living superstitiously, ignorantly and arrogantly not only costs you your good feeling in this world, good experiences in this world. When I say good, I mean high frequency. It also costs you good or high frequency experiences in the world beyond. And that some of us are beginning to trust the teachings and apply the teachings and see the benefits that are happening. Even a student as relatively new as the Attract Soulful Love student can put the teaching into practice and witness changes. So anybody can literally do this. It's just that not everybody is willing to trust and willing to believe and willing to support a higher level of belief. You see, it's principle. It's not me. I'm not special. It's not you. It's the way the universe, is operating. Good for you, that you trust, you apply yourself. I can't change your reality, but you can raise your vibration. You can be willing to feel more secure. You can be committed to a greater level of security. You can be committed to a greater level of selffulness. You can be committed to a greater level of satisfaction. So, when students report to me that within 48 hours things shift in their reality, it's not surprising for me. You see, for people in the illusion, it's surprising, it's a shock, they can't believe it. All along nothing happened and suddenly something happens. It's the law, right? Anybody who's enlightened, truth teaching knows you raise your vibration, it reflects back in your reality. That is the law. Whether you believe it or not, that's what happens. And so you've been telling us about your experience, around, for a long time complaining that in your area, either particular to your area or generally in your region, there's challenges around electricity, and we get your note about, the Synology is down and all that sort of thing. And then I said to you, why don't you, I'm not saying that you should, and I'm not saying that it's wrong that you don't, but what is your reason? You're sitting there in the dark and you're not doing anything. Why don't you create yourself to be in the light? Because it costs nothing. It costs nothing to raise your frequency. If you come to these classes, it does cost you. That's your investment. That's your circulation of energy. That's your flow. You support me in my life. I support you in living. I give you value. You give me value. So it costs you to get educated. Whether it's schooling, our children go to private schools or schools, universities, anything. Education is costly, right? And we are in lifelong learning here, so we get a good deal on it. If you had to get 1 hour of coaching from somebody, nobody is going to charge you less than 2,000 Rand for 1 hour of coaching. You understand? Nobody who knows their stuff is going to charge you. Yet, for half the price of that, you get a whole weekend. You understand? So it's ongoing learning. You can't get 1 hour of coaching for the price you pay for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? Plus you get resources and things sent to you. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? If somebody can't afford 1,000 Rand for a weekend, then you're not in the personal development. You're not into education, because if anybody knows anything, education is expensive, and rightly so, because it's value, right? Today we're in the information age. Today, the more aware you are and informed, the better you can do. This is the information age we are in, right? So people who invest in information, people who get this kind of support, people who want to progress, you got to pay. You got to pay. And then the value of what you're paying. So you are learning how to get closer to God and live as a real believer, experience the joy of being. You can experience well-being, which improves your health, your mental health, your emotional health. You age more graciously. When you die at a higher level, and you're raised up at a higher level. I mean, look at the value of knowledge around peace consciousness or security consciousness, feeling good with God. Your immunity, not only your physical body immunity, but your immunity out there. When you go out there, there's low vibration people, but your immunity is protecting you. Your spiritual immunity is protecting you. I mean, how much is that valued? To get the information, to apply yourself in raising your frequency, that you are protected from low vibration people, and that you can function in the world. Your body is at a higher level. You can more tap into your authority, that you can live as an adult, an actual adult. You can relate as an adult. You can express and feel good and apply yourself. I mean, what's the value of that? Where are you going to learn that? Our parents didn't know, our teachers didn't know, university professors didn't know. But here we're getting one stop, right? Everything is your security, selffulness, and also satisfaction, realizing that you can be happier in life. And it doesn't cost money. The key here is, while education might be an investment that we invest in and costs money, but security doesn't cost money, and expanding your level of security. And selffulness doesn't cost money, and expanding your level of selffulness. Progressing doesn't cost money. Being educated might cost money, but once you got your education, you know what it is, you get the support. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost money to be more satisfied in life. So a lot of people don't know that. Like you saying, no, I can't be more satisfied as a businesswoman or in my life, because, and you might say, I don't have money, but it doesn't cost money. And I was explaining to you that the principles that we use in Attract Soulful Love, that's why Attract Soulful Love is really a disguise, well, not necessarily a disguise, but it is prosperity consciousness presented as Attract Soulful Love. It's prosperity. It's basically how to attract assets into your life. How to have things into your life that support you in feeling satisfied. That's what it is. So whether you're married or not married, if you do Attract Soulful Love and you understand the principles, which I called back to early on, in this classroom today, I said to you that, you have a partner that is that you connect with, that cares for you through your experience of expression with them. If you don't express, you just think a man is supposed to take care of me and it's all about me and all that, but you don't say, I really value you and thank you, and you don't care, you're like, they should do it, and you keep pointing out what they're doing wrong or what they're not doing enough of and all that. You're not in your adult expression, and so you might attract a partner, but you can just as well, sooner or later, the partner is not interested in you. There's nothing you can do to make them interested in you after that. You get it? Because you didn't give caring. You didn't understand that you can attract to you, but you must appreciate and value and communicate and give respect to it. If you've got money, you must respect the money you have. I assist my mum with her finances and all that. Every now and then I'll tell her, let's just check how's your investments doing. I'm not good at with money and all that, but I check on it. And I tell her, where's your pen and paper to write out all what you're worth, whatever it is. In fact, I don't do that, but I do it for her. And, just to check on her, you got to look after what you have. If you've got a life asset, you got to look after it. I told you early on, I got a different car, and how I like it and enjoy it, and I've been caring for it, appreciate looking at it, being thankful. This is prosperity principles. You got to see what you have and look after it. And even before you have it, you must be able to see what it is and how you're going to feel and how you're going to connect in those realities. And that's free. Anybody can develop a prosperity consciousness, right? If you're secure and you're self-full, you can develop a prosperity consciousness. So here I am speaking to our sister and asking her, I don't understand why you're not putting the principles. You can be more satisfied, you can be more fulfilled. It doesn't cost money. Why aren't you doing it? Especially if she's got contacts and all that. It's even easier for her to manifest what she wants. And she was in this low frequency state. I don't have enough, I can't afford that, that one is too expensive, the whole thing is over 300,000 rand and all that sort of thing. I said, no, you just got to go slightly better for where you are. Slight improvements. We always speak of small wins, because if you start thinking about something that seems impossible to you, you will be discouraged as she was. And when you're discouraged as you are, your lack of belief, your level of belief goes down, you don't feel good, you have doubt, and then it affects your whole business. So just after speaking to her for couldn't have been more than 10-15 minutes, maybe maximum 15 minutes around this issue, everything shifts in her reality. Why? Because she's not the same person. She's moving at a different level of identity. She now has a different identity. So a 10-15 minute conversation can assist her in looking at herself and recognizing she's creating her own dissatisfaction, she's creating her own deprivation. She is not realizing she can have something believable for her to have. She says, look, what I want and what I need is unbelievable. I can't believe I can have it. 300, 400,000 rand for my business, I can't do it. You get what I mean? It's too much. I said, no, but you don't need 300. Look, she can have that, but she can't believe she can have that. So I can't work with her to have that. She can have it, but she can't believe she can have. So let me start with where she is and what can she believe she can have. So first thing I said to her was this: how wonderful it is that you are in a position of vulnerability. Somebody will think are you mad, Ashraf? You're telling somebody how wonderful it is you're in a position of vulnerability. I said, look, your whole life you focused on you and what you can do for you. And now you're in a position of vulnerability where you have to turn to people and say to them, can you help me? Turn to the neighbor, Humaira, I think her name is, whatever it is, I require support with that. Turn to, a fellow buddy, Nazli, can you help me with that? Turn to the guy down the road, I require this, that. How wonderful it is that you don't have to take care of yourself, and that while you are where you are, you have people you can turn to for caring. It's a great thing that you are receiving the caring of people, because if she was where she was, I don't need anybody's caring, I'll do it all myself. I'll buy myself a whole 300,000 rand outfit, and I don't need anybody. Now she's in a situation where she's requiring support. We all can be in situations where we require support. When I hit a rock bottom patch in my life, there's nothing I could do except say, I require support, guys, will you support me? I had to humble myself until I could get back on my feet, whatever it is. We all can go through that, for different reasons. After a divorce, it can be very challenging, you know what I mean? So we can be in, whether it's a country challenge with the power, electricity and all that, can be in a situation. So you can say, this is where I am. Is there anybody out there can care for me? And I said, well done on accessing support. You are accessing support. This is great. That you are getting support. You are functioning, you are continuing, your business is running with the support of other people. You're no longer this workaholic, anti-dependent, pseudo-independent. This is good. You are actually connecting with people, giving and receiving with people. This is great. I mean, she gives us great support with the Synology. She doesn't take a cent from me to run the Synology part of it. I was saying to Rabia, I said, one of these days we need to give Antonia a holiday, a trip to Cape Town to visit us, whatever it is. She's done so much, she deserves a holiday. You know what I mean? We can have her here and whatever. It'd be nice to invite her and pay at least the airfare or whatever it is. You know what I mean? A gift. That's what I was talking to Rabia with. I said, we'll see soon. But maybe she's opening to it. Maybe it's coming now, right? Because she's opening to it. But there are people who appreciate what she's done. And remember, what you give, you'll get, maybe not from the people you're giving to, but you'll get elsewhere. It's a principle. So she's given in her life, she continues to give. She's got credit. Let's say giving credit, right? I also give to people. I got giving credit. So when we require something and we say, look, we require support, is there anybody out there that can give us support? We already got giving credit. So we can receive. So she's got giving credit. She's not a taker. She gives, selflessly in support of, education of us and humanity and all that. She gives. She's a giver. So she's not a taker that must take now and from other people want more and more. She gives. So I'm saying this is good. This is good. You give. You're in a position of receiving. You ask to receive. There's people you're attracting. They're caring for you. You're receiving from them. This is wonderful. You are in the flow. I didn't say, you poor thing, you can't afford a big unit of 300,000 rand. I mean, who can just take all that money, right? Not a lot of people. Very big organizations, maybe. People who have big incomes and all that, yeah. But generally, it's not the case, you know what I mean? So I said to her, you're doing well. I didn't say, you're not doing well. I said, this is good. You're flowing energy, you're giving and receiving, you're in the flow. But now you can move up from there. You can say, thank you people for this kind of support. Let me see what little of what I'm getting from you. Let's see what little I can give myself beyond what you're giving me. I said to her, what can you start off with? Something small. I'm working with her believability, right? A level of belief. She says, I did the exercise, it's 300,000 rand, I can't afford it. Now, even if it's 300-400 rand, she can have it, right? She can have it if she applies the attract soulful love principles. Focus on your future spousal self. Don't worry about where you are and trying to find the man. Don't worry about where you are and trying to get married. Don't worry about, currently I don't have any solar and it's going to cost me money. Don't worry about all that. Go straight into the future self. Go straight there. Go there and see it already done. So I could have told her, go and see yourself with the whole unit on the house, and the whole house is running with the fridge, freezer, whatever. But her level of belief is not there. You've got to get into a sweet spot, right? You've got to start small. So I could have told her that, and that could have worked out, but her belief is not there. So I didn't work with that. I said to her, okay, you're getting support from people, this is great. But what can you get for yourself that will minimize the support that you require from others? You don't have to power up everything in your house. Maybe you get some units or maybe one panel, and that one panel keeps your work going, your laptops, whatever, your desktops, whatever it is, Synology, whatever it is, start there. It's fine, the freezer, you still got Nasli to assist you with, and other things, you got other people to assist you with. But how can you support a greater level of satisfaction? How can you move up that you require less support? What can you do for yourself? And I said to her, this is not about you thinking, but I'm here, what do I do to go there? The how hole, right? Let's not fall into the how hole. Let's use principle. If you hold a vibration and an energy, if you hold a vibration and an energy, and you remain loyal to it, that's all you got to do. You just got to shift your magnetics and just remain loyal to it. The good feeling of that feeling that you want to feel. So when we speak about, attract soulful love, we say to women, can you see yourself already married, already having a spouse that is satisfying, that you're extremely pleased, what is it that you're very thankful about? What is it that you feel good about? What are you pleased that you're experiencing, that you would love to experience? Now, there's no man, they're not married, but this is what we're telling them. So I said to Antonio, do the same. Don't worry about where you are, where you're going to get the money from, where the panels are going to go on your roof. Don't worry about all that. Don't overthink it. Just go into the future where you already have at least a basic unit. Just go there, that you have a basic unit. And so with a basic unit, it's not even a full house, literally. It's just a basic unit. Can you imagine if you had a basic unit now, and the power was down? If you had a basic unit, what would be different? In a very realistic way. Let's not go unrealistic because her level of belief is not up. She can't say, I can see the freezer is on, I'm going there, the fridge is on, everything is running, but things that are consuming power in a big way. I said, the smallest things, what's there? Can you enter into that reality? Let's say you already got a very basic level. It's making a small difference to you. What is that small difference? You're sitting in the dark. Why not imagine? No, why not envision? Why not visualize? Why not see yourself in that reality? That if it were so that I had a small unit, that unit would be somewhere. I'd have a unit. So I could maybe go and look and see if the unit is on, the unit is working, it could be in the house, it could be on the roof, whatever it is. She'd say, I got a unit. And that unit is working. Where is it placed? It's on the roof, or it's in some room somewhere. And it's there, it's working. And you there, and you notice it's plugged into something. What is it plugged in? What is it driving? What is it driving? Well, my laptops are working, Synology is up, my business side of things, I don't require that support. Maybe I still require the freezing of foods and all that sort of thing. But, I don't require this little bit. This little bit is fine. I can manage. And this is the small change in my life. So when I told her, can you do that? Then her level of belief shot up, right? Because before she overwhelmed herself, she started thinking, it's possible. I can do this. This can happen. And that's why she was able to go into the moment she started feeling better, I can have this, it's possible, this is a small win, but it's good, there's benefit. Now if it was somebody else, they said, no, I don't want small win, I want a big win, right? There are people like that, they don't want to take it one step at a time. They say, I want everything. This man, he must give me everything all of the time, whenever I want it. Instead of saying, he's giving me more, whatever, I'm grateful for this, that, let's just expand. There are people who say, no. For me, it's all or nothing. Then they don't have anything sooner or later, right? So she was willing to play the game. She was willing to get into it. To say, okay, if it is in fact so that I have a small unit, what would be powered up? Where would it be? How would I feel? Can I enter that reality now? Now again, costs you no money, right? Her level of belief was up. She reduced her level of doubt. There was desire. She was prepared to play the game. She went into the game. And now she started realizing, I've been holding myself back. Incidentally, not only doing this, she started realizing, hey, I can do this in all areas of my life. This is something I have the power to do. I haven't been using it. I have been holding myself back in my life. I've been projecting power onto money. I've been thinking money is needed. I said, no, money is required, it's not needed. What's needed, if anything is needed, is you to create. Let's say it this way. What's necessary is for you to create. When you create, what is required will come into your life. This is what we say to the woman in Attract Soulful Love, right? In Attract Soulful Love, we say to the woman, don't worry about the man, which one you think you want. Don't outline the process. Don't try and get yourself married. Just let it be. Enjoy being single, enjoy learning, enjoy growing, and focus on the reality you want. Create it, like in your imagination. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Get into the feeling experience of the lived reality you want. How pleased you are in it. we tell them first get a vision. Use the formula, the basic formula. What is the feeling of security you have, the containment within the relationship, your love needs, that consideration for you? Can you feel it? What is it that makes this man considerate of you? What is it that makes this man safe to be with? Can you imagine yourself being with a man like that, and that feeling of being considered? And then what do you like about him? What do you find appealing, attractive? What do you admire? What do you appreciate about him? What are the qualities? Can you write that down? Get your compelling vision. Can you recognize what are the things you do together that you enjoy doing together, that you like, he likes, together you'll do it, that you're really enjoying? What is it about this? You can say we have great sexual chemistry. You understand? There's great sexual chemistry. And whatever is important to you. So you can, like that I said to Antonia, clarify. A small unit, where would it be? What would it do? What would be the difference in your life? You're happy now, you can be happier. And a woman is happy by herself, single. She can be happier with a man. And she can get this vision. And when she gets this vision, she can get into the feeling of the lived reality. So people have a question like, what is the feeling of the lived reality? It's like, I'm already there. If it were so now, that I had this unit that powered up brought me at least, so many kilowatts of energy. What would I use those kilowatts for? Using those kilowatts for that, what difference does it make to my life? What would be the benefit to me? Well, run up my computers and it's always available. The benefit to me, I can keep working. And what's the benefit of that? Orders can get processed. What's the benefit of that? The business does better. The feeling of the lived reality. You understand? What is of value to me here? What is the benefit? And she can do this in imagination. Get the compelling vision and then recognize the feeling. What is it that you want to feel in that relation? The lived experience. So a woman in a relationship may say that, oh, this man is a very considerate man, and he is kind and understanding, and he doesn't force me to be the way I'm not, and he likes me the way I am. He makes requests, he tells me what's important to him, but he's considerate and caring. He asks for what he wants. He's not demanding. I don't feel stressed and strained. I feel very considered by this. This man is a caring, considerate man. Now, a lot of women, that doesn't mean anything. Does he have money? Does he make me happy in the sense of, does he do what I want him to do whenever I want him to do? He mustn't irritate me. A lot of women are not mature enough. They're not grown up enough to recognize the importance of caring and consideration and feeling safe, secure with somebody, and the value that is, that person allows you to be you, supportive of your personal satisfaction. It doesn't take your money, doesn't use you, doesn't control you, not making you do things you don't want to do, forcing you to look after his children, forcing you to look after his parents. Women don't realize that is a great thing to have. That's why they don't end up with it. But if you follow the formula, you have the compelling vision, then you can see what is the lived experience. If I have a man like that, what would I appreciate? What's the difference it makes to me? Well, firstly, he's not asking me for money. I don't have to pay his bills. My money is my own. He shares his money with me. You know what I mean? Or I feel safe. He's not stealing from me, cheating from me. I can trust him. He's not going to look through my things. He's not going to look through my money. I can leave money lying around. I don't have to hide my passwords and all that. I'm just saying it's a good idea to keep it personal. You know what I mean? So it's you can trust somebody. Now, women don't know that. What is a lived experience of being with somebody you can trust? What difference does it make to your life when you have somebody you can trust, somebody you can't trust? Now, a smart woman, not using their head, they just get somebody and then they say, ish, he stole my money, he did this, he forced me to do that, he's trying to make me be different, all that sort of thing. So you can know what you want, and you can get into the lived reality. And then I have somebody who I admire, I appreciate the characteristics that I find appealing. It's admirable, it's attractive, appealing. I appreciate this in him. Now imagine if you were with somebody like that, and you're actually looking at, this man is not an idiot, this man is not a fool, this man is he's smart, he's sharp, he's progressive. What's the lived experience of being with a person like that? What is the value to you? What difference does it make in your life? See, what is the lived experience? What is the value to you? What is the difference it makes in your life? People don't do this. They don't get into that experience. Now you have this man, what are you doing with him? Well, our sexual chemistry stops. When he looks at me, when I look at him, we just know that we really enjoy being, when we're together, we are in it, whatever it is. Now a woman might not do that, or men might not even do that. Then they end up with somebody that says a dead duck, or the marriage dies sexually, or whatever. It dies eventually, right? And then they're like, he, whatever. In the meantime, they didn't say, what did I want? What would that be like, to have a man who finds me attractive, appealing? So women don't do that. A man can be attractive to her, appealing, but then they don't reciprocate, whatever, then it dies. It's gone. It's over. You know what I mean? Then they're like, but he's like this, he's like that, whatever it is. In the meantime, they didn't see what they wanted. They didn't feel the lived experience. They didn't energize it. So it costs you nothing to have a compelling vision. And it costs you nothing to intend, the feeling experience, to intend that this is the feeling experience I want to live. That this is what I desire. Now some women, they're not smart, right? They don't have the IQ, the EQ. They're not smart and progressive, so you can't get through to them. They don't have that aptitude. Some women are just smart, but they don't have the EQ. They have the IQ, but not the EQ. They're good at other things, making sure everything else is fine, getting things done and all that. But they don't have the EQ. But some women can have the EQ. That's why you've got to have the IQ and the EQ. That's why we teach women to become progressive. Start expressing yourself, start applying yourself, start feeling the joy. Allow yourself to feel good. Because if you don't feel good expressing yourself, the partner you're not going to be existent with a partner. If you go to another dead duck partner, it'll work out for a while. But if a partner is expressive and you're not expressive, the partner can have more fun by themselves. You know what I mean? Then there's no happy earnest in a relationship. But the partner can be happy, but there's no happy earnest. But they're still happy. You know what I mean? So this is what we're saying to the woman in the ASL class. And this is what we're saying here in the BLT as well. That once you invest in an education like this, and you're a person who takes the opportunity to grow. That's why I have acknowledged students in the ASL. We've seen them develop their relationship with their Creator. We've seen them admit that, look, we're feeling stress and strain, we tense around God and all, and they start releasing all that, and they start recognizing the loving and supportive nature of God, and that they can feel secure with God. Then they stop trying to look after themselves, they stop trying to look after others, they stop trying to get others to look after them. They know that God is taking care of you. They feel happy with God. They're in the joy of being, right? Well-being. And then they realize, I'm an adult, let's function as an adult in our own lives. Because if you don't function as an adult in your own life, you can't enjoy yourself, if you can't joyfully express yourself, apply yourself, you're not going to function as an adult in a relationship. If you're a dead duck with yourself, you know what I mean? If you're your own dead duck, if you can't entertain yourself and enjoy yourself in a real, expressive way, the person who chooses to be with you, then they must take responsibility for that. They can't blame you for that. If somebody has chosen to be with a dead duck, they must take responsibility to be with them. But if you're a dead duck yourself, and you don't expect to have a live, happening relationship, it's not going to be happening. If you can't have a happening relationship with yourself, you can't have party for one. If you're not fun to be with by yourself, if you never grew up and had the experience of enjoying yourself, if you're not fun to be with by yourself, that's enough punishment, for yourself. Then somebody else is not going to enjoy the expression there. There's not going to be an expression there. It's deadness, right? So we said there are women who are willing, but some women don't want to change, right? They got their own money, they think they're doing so well, they think they're great, they expect everything, they want everybody to love them and everything must work, but they don't want to love themselves in the sense of knowing that God is taking care of them and everybody, and they don't want to be caring to themselves, they don't want to feel good, they don't want to enjoy themselves, they don't want to enjoy their life. No, as long as I'm paying my bills, I'm a big shot, I don't depend on a man. They just want to carry on like that. Well, they'll end up like that too, right? That's how it is in life. How you are is what you'll get coming back to you. And you can complain and fuss all you want to. It's you reflected back to you. The buck stops with us. It's me reflected to me. It's you reflected to you. That's how it is. This is why I do this work. I support greater joy every day. I support greater joyfulness every day. I support enjoying myself, enjoying work every day. I support connecting with people. I'm open. God, bring me higher value people in my life. I'll connect with them. I'll take them anytime, day or night. Anybody who's going to support me be happier in my work, in my personal life, in my life, I'm open. I'm working on my prosperity. I'll move forward. You know what I mean? I'm open. Because I want to feel alive with God, with me, joy, joyfulness, enjoyment, and so on. So what I'm coming back to, what Antonia is sharing here, is that she started to feel different. When I started talking to her, where she was feeling stressed and distressed and feeling like I'm ending up needing on people now and this is not fun and it's not nice. And I said, no, this is good. You're connecting. You got giving credit, now you got receiving credit. Receive from the people. You give, now receive. This is good. But while you're giving and receiving, this is good. Because maybe she would have never come to giving and receiving if she was always dependent on herself. Now that you're giving and receiving, what can how can you receive more from others in a sense and give more to yourself? And that's when we went through a 10-minute conversation, 10, 15 minutes, and then it shifted her. She started realizing, look, I don't have to live as a self-depriving person. She could have continued if she wanted to. If she was fixed in her mentality, rigid in her personality, there would be static reality. But she's now dynamic. The moment she got it, she started feeling different. She realized it's her holding herself back. She's realizing that it's not money that's holding you back. It's not a man or a woman holding you back from having what you want. You can. If you got the knowledge, if you invested and you got the knowledge and you're getting the support, you pay for the support and using the knowledge, you have that your own. You can use it in any and all areas of your life. And so that shifted not only the situation around electricity. And I mean, it was wonderful that she had that extreme situation, because if it wasn't extreme, she wouldn't have gotten to that low point and have to ask people for support and all that sort of thing. So that, in fact, was a good thing, that the area had this kind of issue, and for the extended period. It was happening for her. You see, this is our teaching. Whatever is happening is not happening to us, it's happening for us. If that didn't happen, Antonia and I wouldn't have the conversation, and she wouldn't have broken through this barrier of self-deprivation, self-dissatisfaction. Now she realizes, it's up to me. I got the knowledge, I paid for it, I got the support, I paid for it. Let me use it. I can have a vision, I can energize that vision, I can live in that reality now, in the feeling sense of it. My magnetics would have shifted. This is me applying principle. And the moment she was feeling good and she allowed herself to feel the good feeling of living in that reality, you heard what she said. Series of coincidences. It will always happen. When you raise your vibration, you'll always watch the series of coincidences that happen in your reality to take you up. You'll be like it would have happened anyway, but it wouldn't have happened because there's a shift in you and your energy. There's a shift in your reality. People say it's a coincidence. Ashraf, you helped that woman in the Attract Soulful Love for 10, 15 minutes or so. And you know what? What if it was a coincidence? That's what you'll say. Everybody, when they shift their energy and when they see things happen, it happens so effortlessly and seamlessly. You'll say it's a coincidence. In fact, you'll forget that this is what you did. You shifted consciousness. You'll go into disbelief. You'll be like, the average person will go into, how many people I worked with? One woman was married to this guy, and he was a drug addict, and he was a high-powered guy in society. And I said, shift your consciousness. She said, I want to get a divorce, but if I get a divorce, I lose the benefits of having been with this man and looking after this man, his posh, his house and all that. I said, you don't worry about getting a divorce. You shift your energy. Just shift your energy. And I gave her 3 sessions. After 3 sessions, the man, there's another long story, I won't go into it, where I offered him support, he didn't want support, and he passed away in his sleep. She gets up, he's dead. And guess what? She gets the Porsche, she gets the house, she gets everything, and within a year, she had a different man in that same bed, I think. So, she doesn't know what we did. I know what we did. She thought it was a coincidence her husband died. I said to her, look, God knows best what's for you. I don't know. Your husband can change, or he can be replaced. I don't know. God knows how. The how, we don't have to go in the how hole. We don't have to fall in the how hole. We only know a principle. That if you hold the vision, raise your vibration, if you trust, you don't try to outline, you're open to it working out, you are that adult person. It must work out. It always does. I worked with a guy who was, before, this was, I think, in the early 2000s or so. He was a accountant who was defrauding the South African Revenue Services, and not for himself but for his clients. And he came to me and he was like, they're coming to check me out, they are investigating me, they're coming 2 weeks from now. He says, I'm going to jail. Understand? I told him, I don't know about that. What I know is, let's just shift consciousness. Let's just shift your energy. I don't know how it's going to happen. I can't know. You can't know. Let's just do the work. Let's just trust the process. And we did the work, we shifted his consciousness. In a week he phones me, Ashraf, we did it. I said, what? He says, you told me you must do this, and I did it, and shift the consciousness and all. I said, yeah. I said, we didn't know how it was going to work. He says, guess what? South African Revenue Services has opened an amnesty. They've extended an amnesty. Anybody, everybody. Amnesty. For everybody. Amnesty. He says, I can come clean. I can tell them. It's amnesty. He says, we did it for the whole country. He told me and him. I said, yeah, I know that, you know that, but don't tell anybody else that. They'll think we are crazy or, you are mad. Ashraf has fooled you. So, I've seen it happen in cases where I don't know how it's going to happen. In fact, it looks like it will never happen. You understand? I had a guy I was working with for treason. They told me, you can be a murderer, it's better than treason. I said, let's work on it. Come. Let's work shifting your consciousness. Within a couple of days, the guy's whole case is thrown out. Of course. Treason. Thrown out. So, I keep telling you, you don't have to know how it happens. You only know that if you shift consciousness, it will happen. And this is where your level of belief goes up. When you start taking these small kind of things and you start working them and you start seeing the difference. That's why I like when students in the classroom share it, that other people start realizing, well, you're able to do that. It worked for you. So it can work for me. When people's level of belief goes up, it's one of the best things that allow things to shift fast for them. You see, they start trusting the teaching. They realize this teaching works. And they start working it with belief that it's going to happen. I'm going to get what I want. So early on when we heard, that I'm going to get what I want, I can get what I want, the level of belief goes up. So that's what Antonia and I had a brief conversation. Next thing, her business has improved. Out of the blue, there's business coming in where the guy who has gone to Australia now back in business, where it was before earning, now it was just about earning tens of thousands, now 90,000 comes in. You get what I mean? Big business, bigger business. And the supplier who she didn't have that kind of relationship with now sends her information, and right there is a unit for under half the price. and suiting her. It's brand new, hasn't been used, half the price. Yes, it's been lying dormant for a year or so, but it's all principle. It's principle. So it will happen the way she will let it happen. It can happen that somebody gives her one brand new and comes and drops it at the door. It can happen. But she might not believe that it can happen that way. This is the way she's receiving it, and she's happy to receive it this way. And, you heard her speak of her, the good feeling she feels about the shift in her and in her reality and in the business. And this can be for any one of us. Or you can remain the same and watch your business go down and complain, or watch your marriage end, or you can keep going downhill, or you can shift your consciousness, and it doesn't cost you. But again, people who think they know everything and they want everybody to be another way, they are self-righteous, they're entitled, they won't do this work. It takes a humble person to take responsibility and say, this is coming from me. What is the learning, growth, and development I got to grow through? And let me apply myself, shifting the consciousness. Let me become a different person. Let me become an adult. Let me function as an adult. And you function as an adult. That's what Antonia shared with you. And that's what we heard about the renovations early on. How it all works out, and even better. See, there are some of us who are willing to take support from the classroom and put it into practice. And then they are the ones who will tell you the success stories. So did I miss anything out from there? A small shift in your consciousness can lead to big shifts in your reality. Sometimes you just got something blocking you, you know what I mean? And you clear that one block and it opens up so much more for you in other areas of your life. And this is what we can all understand, that the universe is supportive, right? It's got for you health, wealth, whatever you want is there, but we are the ones playing small and stingy and all that sort of thing. We are the ones not letting ourselves have more. We are keeping, so like people make themselves sick, right? And also they limit what they can have. Like one guy I was working with recently, and he told me, like, what do you want? He said, I want a job. What do you want? I want a job. I told him, you want a job, just over broke. I said, nobody who's an adult really wants a job. We want to make contributions, we want to support, interact with people that we can benefit, but a job? Nobody wants a job. I don't want a job. Nobody I know that is in an adult level wants a job, be jobbing. So people sort of limit themselves. They either make themselves sick. When they make themselves sick, they don't know they can be healthy. When they limit themselves for what they can have. But there's always more. And that's why when you raise your emotional set point, or your feeling set point rather, when you raise your good feeling, see, that's what's letting more come in. And must come in from the security, self-fullness, satisfaction. If you limit the security, you limit the satisfaction. See, and if you limit the self-fullness, you limit the satisfaction. That's why I was saying to you, what you're just sharing now, the importance of communicating and giving and receiving consciously as an adult. There are women who just want men to be right for them and make them happy, and they complain they're unhappy and only what's wrong is the issue. But they're not expressing and being and connecting. They're not. They're not being real in that moment. So when you are connecting with people and you're giving, you can consciously give, you can consciously receive. And that's why we say giving and receiving are defined terms in the Blissful Living teachings. You are giving consciously to the person who receives it, who appreciates it. You're not being a doormat. A lot of people say, well, I give my whole life. They're just people pleasers. See? When you validate your own giving to another, you give, and you've given. You don't make a big song out of it, big show out of it, but you're a giver. And you give to the right people who appreciate. You don't give to the people who don't want what you're giving, or the people who can't receive what you are giving. That's what I'm learning. You've got to give to the right people who give in return, especially in certain situations. Like you said, in the community, you're a community of people who give and receive. Now, there can be people who just receive, but they don't give. They're waiting for everybody to give them, and they might not even give thanks. At the very least, and we can write this one down, at the very least, somebody who receives can give thanks. Somebody might say, I got nothing to give. But acknowledgement, appreciation, don't you have any acknowledgement to give, any appreciation to give? Can't you see the value, the benefit it is as an adult? Can't you receive it? Can't you really receive what is given? So there are people who will take from you. You keep giving, they keep taking. But they don't really receive it. And so that's why be a conscious giver, give consciously to conscious receivers. Otherwise, we block the flow. You get what I mean? If you are giving to somebody who's not receiving, you could rather give that giving to somebody who does receive. You know, we can become aware as adults. Instead of being children and say, I need to help everybody, I need to be a people pleaser. We can become aware of adults that I'm giving. But is this giving received? This person just expects me to do everything all the time for them. They think they're the queen, that they mustn't give anything, nothing. They must just be allowed to live how they want to. And again, it's not that poor, persons, they haven't developed into adults. The question is what you're doing with them. I was posting one of my posts on Facebook, and I saw somebody else's post. So they got like a picture of a man treating a woman badly. And at the bottom there it says, it's not your fault. It's not because of you that you're getting screamed at and shouted at. It's because of that man. Now we can turn it around and say to the man who's not getting love and getting withheld from, is it a woman who doesn't give? These are the typical things, right? The man who is demanding and swearing and shouting, or the woman who is closed-hearted and she wants but she doesn't give. This is the usual story, right? And we can say to that man, you poor thing, it's not you that is not valuable. It's the woman who is not valuing you. But my question is, what are you doing? It's your choice. You're choosing whether it's that woman who is with that man who's screaming and shouting at her, or that man who's with a woman who's neglecting him. Just to beg and beg and beg and beg, and nothing comes and nothing comes. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not because of you, but it's because of your choices. So people don't get that, right? There's this kind of posts that go on, like they're excusing the victim, Whether that woman, you poor thing, you're a victim. It's not because of you're getting shouted at by that man. No, it's because of your choices that you're getting shouted at that man. You are choosing to be with that man, that's why. Or that man says, this woman, she poor thing, she doesn't give me, she's not available, her heart is small, whatever it is, it's not me. It's her. No, you're choosing to be with her. It's your choices. So I don't think the public is ready for this kind of honesty at this particular. They like to just blame the victim, or now they want to excuse the victim. We're not blaming the victim. We're saying we're holding the victim accountable. So thank you so much for your sharing. And well done, that things are just getting better and better. More success to you. You're opening up the flow. The key here is to support greater levels of flow in your life. That is the key. Just support greater levels of joy, joyfulness, enjoyment. Experience your connection with God. Express to God gratitude, thankfulness, humility, valuing. Be with yourself, relate to yourself, respect yourself, your body. Be interested in how you feel. Allow yourself to become an adult person with the child in you healed, that you can be the joyful child. Allow yourself to be in the world. When people give to you, like let it register. They give to you, instead of saying, yeah, but they should have, or like living daft, like they haven't given, being oblivious, being oblivious of the fact that somebody has given you something or something. Like wake up and see it and give Give to people. Appreciation, valuing. People in your life, they do things for you. Give to them. They'll be gone and you won't be able to call. I mean, I've been in relationships where the people get the shock of their life when I'm out. You know what I mean? Because they think he's a giver, but they don't realize the energy is shifting, and I'm out. You know what I mean? So then they'll be like, I'm a victim, and he did this to me, and he did... No, I'm the same guy, just giving more. I'm just open to receiving more. You know what I mean? And I'm not forcing anybody or anything. So you can do that in your life. Give, but recognize who you're giving to. Well, give to people who receive from you. You know, you can always learn. You can always function differently. Show up differently in your life. That's what I'm learning to do. Support greater flow with God, with yourself, with your body, with your mind, with your life, future life, past life, future self, past self, after life. You know, with people, things and experiences. Just support greater flow. Small little steps. Releasing blocks to flow, allowing greater flow. Once that flow is moving through your energy field, it can't go back. It can't go back. You're operating at a higher level of flow. You know, and then you'll see things happening automatically, as they always do happen automatically. You know, it's just some people, they want to act like victims when they have blocked themselves and they keep away caring. Then they'll act like, you know, I had nothing to do with it, I'm a victim. But at least now some of us in the teaching, we know, we see beyond that game. They can do whatever they want. It's just them projecting guilt onto somebody. They don't want to take responsibility. But they had learning to do and they didn't do that learning. We are doing that learning. We are correcting the errors. We are addressing where we're sinning. So thank you again for your sharing.